Grandpa?
That's too bad!
I adore the Mission Impossible movies. I'd say that ignoring the second movie, that I like every single entry, and some films like the original and Fallout are some of the best action movies I've ever seen. I liked Dead Reckoning. It wasn't amazing by any means, but I thought that if they could just stick the landing with the second part, that this could be one of the greatest stories in the franchise. Unfortunately, the final Reckoning makes for a flimsy, slapped-together sequel with an over-reliance on exposition, poor storytelling, and honestly one of the worst villains in the entire franchise. I was certain that this movie was going to be a slam dunk for this year, but the film industry continues to prove to me that it can't even get the simplest things right. You know how I said that Minecraft would probably be the most disappointing film I saw this year? Didn't take long to dethrone that, huh? This is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. The story continues where Dead Reckoning ended, with the AI known as the Entity causing worldwide chaos, and it's up to Ethan Hunt and the IMF to stop it. The Mission Impossible movies are known for their big action spectacles, which is why it's utterly fascinating to me that this movie decided to have barely any. At least 70% of this movie consists of overly drawn-out exposition, explaining how a piece of technology works, reminding the audience of something that happened in a previous movie, or in some cases, reminding the audience of something that happened in the movie that they're watching. Flashbacks are so overused in this film. Every time they mention something from a previous film, they flash a black and white clip of what they're talking about, which by itself wouldn't be a big deal, but they do this for what feels like almost every minute, and on top of that, they reuse clips. You know that iconic scene from the first movie where Ethan is dangling above the floor? I think they played that at least 5 times. This movie assumes you have the memory of a goldfish, and as it turns out, making most of your movie consist of characters explaining things isn't very entertaining. Imagine in Avengers Endgame, whenever anyone referenced something from a previous MCU film, they played a scene explaining the callback, and you can see what I mean. There are a few exciting action sequences like the submarine and the final fight with the planes, but they're too little too late. I don't want to sit through an almost 3-hour-long action movie for 2 kinda cool scenes. I honestly would have preferred they just cut the flashbacks and assume that I've already seen the other movies. Sure, it would still be too much exposition, but at least it would save me the headache. What's crazy is that Fallout did this better back in 2018. You don't need to watch the other movies to appreciate Fallout, but if you were a loyal fan, you were rewarded with nice little callbacks. The constant exposition dumps lead to the film's pacing being incredibly sluggish. But now let's talk about the biggest missed potential with this movie: the villain. Spoiler warning from here on out. The Entity is the main force driving the story, but it isn't the main villain. That spot belongs to Gabriel. Both Reckoning movies do a fine job of making Gabriel out to be a real threat, with him killing off several important characters. So you'd think that this film would want you to take him seriously, right? You want to know how Gabriel dies? This character, who in this very movie killed Luther, a character who's been in this franchise since the beginning, dies by getting his balls crushed by an airplane. Yep. Not a joke. That's actually what happens. And that's not all. Throughout this whole film, Gabriel acts so over the top and cartoony in a way that he didn't in the previous movie. Which just begs the question, do you want me to take this guy seriously or not? In summary, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning should have been the safest bet for this year. Something to finally give me a break from the repeated beating this year has been. But sadly, no. While it does have some fun action at times, the horrible pacing, baffling editing, and ridiculous storytelling decisions make the negatives far outweigh the positives. I haven't felt this betrayed by a franchise I adore in a long time. Can't believe I'm saying this, but congratulations, Final Reckoning. You're officially the second worst Mission Impossible movie. That's all I got for now. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and hit that bell icon to be notified for whenever I make a new video. The next review should be The Studio, so if you're interested in that, or interested in supporting the channel more, then turn on notifications and check out my other videos. Okay. That's it. Bye.